Hi guys, welcome back. So this is going to be another layering video. This is going to be using one of the stamps from Kitchen Sink Stamps. This one is called Mother's Cameo. So you can see it's a little bit smaller stamp. It's actually like the size of a real life brooch. And for those of you that don't know what a brooch is, Google it. But when I first saw this stamp, I just loved it. And it's just, I don't know, it's nostalgic. It just brings back some things, some thoughts and memories of olden times. Not that I've ever been around a brooch this old, but, just brings back some memories of some things. Anyway, so this is a 5 layering stamp set. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do not get intimidated. I just got this stamp set yesterday and I was already playing around with it in different colors and different ways of stamping it. So you can see that I think it looks better with the chocolate colors, which is what we're going to play with today. But I also found that I have a punch, which is pretty close to cutting it out. So we're going to do some layering with this today and maybe throw together a quick card. Let's see how far we get. The inks that I will be using will be the Altenew Mini inks, and this is the, I believe it's called the Coffee Collection. I'm not sure. I'll look it up. I'll link it down below. So it's Sand Dune, Rocky Shore, Mocha, and Espresso. Okay. So this is one of those stamp sets. I am again going to bring in my Mini Misty to use. And I'm going to put our paper down in the corner here and put our magnets on there. This is one of those stamp sets that it was easier, I found, from playing around with it and speaking to Maria at Kitchen Sink Stamps, that she actually recommended stamping it in a different order. So what I did was I wrote down the order inside my panel here. So here they give you suggestions of what color inks to use. These are using Memento inks on theirs. So it's a nice little panel there, but she said to try it in 32541. So we're going to try it that way and see if it stamps out okay for us. So pull backing off. Stamp number 3 is right there in the middle. Now these don't really have a guide, but I think because of the design of the stamp itself, you figure out fairly quickly where to line it up. So we're going to start with this middle one, which is number 3. And I am actually going to, let's see here, move my magnet this way. We're going to stamp it here in the corner. Okay, so counting off my inks as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be a darker color. I'm actually going to move up and say this is 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1 we will probably pull into another color. But if this were to be color number 3, 5, 4, 3, that would be Rocky Shores. So we're going to use Rocky Shores as our ink color to go with stamp number 3 in this stamp layering set. And again, you don't need a stamp layering tool, but it does help to line up the stamps. So that's number 3, not too bad. Again, I'm just going to take my little microfiber towel and wipe down the stamp in the door here. And I'm going to leave that as one layer. I'm not going to multi-stamp that. And now I'm going to take number 2. So number 2 has a little more shading to it. And here I'm going to basically line this up, but at the very top, I'm going to see if I can bring this up for you guys to see. Normally you would think, okay, I'm just going to line up the oval. But this oval has a frame shape to it, so there are some detailed lines to it. So what you can do is actually line up the top of the head there. And also right here, the back of her dress there. There is a little slit there in the stamp that you can see lines up right there. And then we want to line up the top of the head there. So if we line up those two things, and it's coming off the edge here, so I need to just slightly turn it. So we make sure there are no edges hanging off the stamp. Okay, you see that? Okay, so that since that's stamp number 2, that would be a lighter color. So we're going to go with the sand dunes. And I love these little mini inks for these little stamps. As they all come, they match in color. Alright, so I think I'm a little off there, but let's keep going and see if we are. I think I moved over a little bit too much, but let's keep going here. So then the next stamp in the order would be the frame, which is number 5, which is very easy to line up. All you do is line up this piece right here. It fits right into this little crevice here. So once you have that lined up, you really can't mess it up. Just make sure you're not stamping on her face there, but you can see it very nicely frames off her face. We're going to use Espresso, which is the darkest brown. So now you can really see that it's coming together and starting to look like a brooch, cameo brooch. Okay, so the next one is number 4, which is going to give us more depth. And again, this is just framing it off, so we're going to, again, just line up that little line right there. And we're going to go in with the color Mocha. There we go. And then the last stamp would be the most solid stamp, which is basically just a solid oval. There's really nothing cut out except for the outer edge. There is a little bit of the frame cut here. So if you wanted to, you can go that. Because we're using very vanilla cardstock, I don't think that we necessarily need number 1. And I'm going to restamp this image, but I'm going to use a stamping block and see if we can line it up a little better with the stamping block. So we're going to go through it again. But I think it looks okay. I can tell that I kind of slid over a little bit to the right. But if you have never stamped it before, like I said, I only started practicing with it yesterday. Why is that out of focus now? There we go. Okay, so let's try this again, but we're going to use the stamping block this time. So we're going to do it in the same order. If you guys want, I could do it in the order that it's supposed to go in. So I will do, actually, let me do it backwards because I think I had a better, when I was doing the practice ones, I did it a lot better going backwards. I don't know if it, because it gave me more of a frame to line it up with. So this is number 5 on the stamp kit, and this is again Espresso ink. So we're just going to stamp it right here. And let me just get my stamp chamois out to clean my stamps. Okay. So then we're going to go in with number 4, which is going to be in Mocha. And again, all I'm doing is lining up this little dark piece with that. So far, so good. Number 3 is going to be Rocky Shores. Same thing, lining up that little squiggle. All right, now this is the difficult one, number 2. So number 2, I'm actually going to stamp in Rocky Shores No, I'm not. I'm going to stamp it in Sand Dune. I forgot we didn't really have a number 1. So we are going to do number 2 in Sand Dunes. And I'm trying to do this without. Now again, here I'm just kind of lining up those little bubbles at the top of her head, checking the line on her dress. Trying to do this without using a stamp positioning tool. Let's see if I lined it up any better this time. And I just got to give that ink a second to transfer onto the paper. Somewhere I have a soft vanilla Hero Arts. I think that might be light enough. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be light enough. I'm trying to see if I have a lighter color. Well, worst case scenario, we could take Sand Dunes and stamp that off and then use it. There we go. Like I said, it doesn't make that much of a difference. All right, so you guys can see, and there's these cute little elements that come with this too that you can use to frame it off. All right, so let's see what I did better, which one I did better here. Now, again, these inks take a second to dry and soak into the paper. So which do you think? Do you think the one with the stamping tool or the one with the stamping block came out better? I think I'm leaning more towards the stamping tool. I just think that there's more even coverage. Now maybe because this hasn't dried all the way. So we're going to give that a second to dry and set into place. In the meantime, let's throw together a card to put those on. So I have some very vanilla card bases here, A2 size, and I am just going to take a distress inking tool, and I have some distress ink here in Antique Linen and also Vintage Photo. I'm just going to take the Antique Linen, just going to fold the card in half and take some of that and just swipe the corners quick. Can't have an antique brooch without having antique background. Okay, and then I have some musical print paper here, and this was from a pack of paper I got from Seven Gypsies, and I believe I picked this up at Hobby Lobby, and it's just some regular printed paper here. But what I am going to do is take my ruler tool. I just want to tear this kind of in half. There we go. And I want that frayed edge. And again, we're going to go back in with the Antique Linen and sponge that. Now, I believe that is a little too large. Yep. So again, we're going to take the ruler just so we can get a straight line. And we're just going to pull some of that off. Doesn't have to be straight. And a little bit off of the bottom. These new nails are working great. Did you guys see this? Oh, it's probably hard to see with all the lighting in here, but it's actually matte polish on the bottom and then a gloss tip there. I know it's hard to see because there's a light in here, and then we got the holographic ring finger there. Sweet. Thank you, Tina. You make my nails look great. All right, back to the video. All right, so we're going all around the edges here to make that way. And so we have our glue here, May's Art Glitter Glue, which does not have any glitter in it. It's a very quick drying glue. And I am just going to put that down on the edge here. Set that aside a second. And then here I have some doilies, and you got it. We're going to distress the doilies. Same thing with that antique linen. Go in there and age it up. I'll never forget growing up, my mom had crocheted some doilies, and they were always like on the coffee tables or like on the end tables, and you know, I don't know where they went to now. We had like macrame, what do you call those, plant holders. So my mom had all these spider plants throughout the house, and they would have these little spider babies hanging off of them, and they would be in these little macrame plant holders hanging from the ceiling. I'm just going in through the back here just so that that color doesn't show any white through. And I'm going to take a little bit of vintage photo and just kind of go around the edges with that. Again, just to distress it up a little. Okay. So we'll move that. Then we're going to glue this down. Doesn't that look nice and old? Just kind of putting that right in the center there. And we're going to take our little cameos. And this one is starting to even out now. And I do think I lined that one up better with the stamping block. But they both look okay. They don't look bad. And I have a little Marvy. This is an old guy. He's a, I think he's a Marvy. Yeah, Marvy Oval Punch. I cannot tell you what name or number or anything it is. But he's going to punch out our little cameo here. You could fussy cut it too. It's not like it's that hard to cut out. Oops. Now, I think with her, I'm going to pop her up a little bit. So let me just grab some foam dots here. Put that on there. And then I think I'll find a cute thank you sentiment or something to go on here, and then just stamp it along the bottom, and we will have our cute little cameo card. And it's aged, and there you go. What do you think? Maybe put a little bit of ribbon on here. A little piece of lace trim or something. Ooh, I do have some aged lace trim somewhere. I don't have it in front of me right now, but yeah, a cute little age lace trim would go across there, and I could always ink it up if it doesn't match, and then put little thank you sentiment on there. So there you go, guys. I really just wanted to show the layering, how easy it is to do. It does take some practice. Again, I got this stamp yesterday, and I had just stamped it out these 4 times, and as you can see, as I went around, I got better and better with it. So this was the first one I did, second one I did, the third one I did, and then the last one I did. And the lighter colors that you do, I think it looks better and better. And the more you practice playing around with the layering, and again, you don't have to go 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1. You can go in any order you want. So in this stamp set, the first time I did it with the Misty, again, I did order 3, 2, 5, 4, 1. And then the second time we did it, I did it backwards, and I did it with a stamping block. So you just have to play around with it and see what you like. If you have any questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I will be posting a few videos with layering stamps. I did one with Stampin' Up. This one's with kitchen sink stamps. I have some from the Ton and also Hero Arts that I will be showing you guys. But I don't want anyone to be intimidated by layering stamps. They just take a little bit of practice, and once you get the hang of it, you can make some beautiful designs and beautiful cards with them. So there you go, guys. And again, this is Kitchen Sink Stamps Mother's Cameo. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and keep on stamping. Bye.